It was obviously too much for me. And I didn't want to get to the point where I would cause myself harm.
In the early 2000s, Usher was pretty much the king of hip-hop and R&B, until it all came crashing down when some pretty serious allegations involving herpes came out against him, and you'll never believe what actually happened. In 2017, some really shocking information was leaked about Usher. The singer is known for his turbulent relationship life, and the news really put him in a bad light. According to the leaked documents, Usher had allegedly tested positive for herpes type 2, most likely all the way back in 2010. While herpes type 1 gives you some pretty uncomfortable mouth blisters every once in a while, herpes type 2 is actually an incurable STD. But that's not the most shocking part of this news about Usher. Allegedly, Usher didn't actually tell his intimate partners about this, which he should when there's a possibility they might contract the virus from him. Not only because it's clearly the right thing to do, but also because he is actually legally obligated to tell them. The leaked document was actually a lawsuit against Usher for this very reason. Apparently, someone Usher had been intimate with tested positive for herpes afterwards and claimed that they contracted the virus from Usher. By the time it leaked, the case was actually already resolved, and the interesting part is that Usher actually had to pay this person's medical bills, as well as a settlement of over $1 million. Now, the information is all alleged, and Usher has not even publicly admitted that he has herpes, let alone that he gives it to people without warning. But why would he have to pay all that money if it wasn't him that gave this person herpes? It actually gets even worse because it really seems like they weren't the only person that contracted herpes from Usher. Usher's relationships have been a topic of conversation pretty much throughout his whole career. In 2001, he started dating the singer Chili. At the time, everyone thought they were the perfect couple. Chili is a member of the girl group TLC, and she's very popular with the fans. And when they announced the relationship, Usher was already pretty popular himself, so a lot of Usher's fans became fans of Chili as well as the other way around. Both of them grew in popularity from the relationship, mainly because the fans were happy for them, even though usually star musicians tend to lose fans when they make the relationships public. In this case, it was the opposite. Both Usher and Chili were so universally liked, the fans were really excited to see them together. They worked their relationship into their music, too. Chili appeared in Usher's music video, and there was a lot of behind-the-scenes footage of them just being the cutest couple as well. The relationship was becoming more and more popular, and everyone thought it would last forever, until it all came crashing down. In 2003, Usher and Chili broke up, and Chili actually went on a radio show at the time where she shared the reason their breakup ended. Apparently, the relationship wasn't as perfect as it seemed, and Usher had actually cheated on her. Can you believe that? You might expect the fans to be mad at Usher about that, but he actually became even more famous. This was probably because of the next album that he released. It was called Confessions, so everyone expected that this might be Usher's way of sharing his side of the story. But the Usher and Chili relationship was actually only one of the inspirations for the album. Writer and producer Jermaine Dupri, who worked on the album with Usher, actually came forward later and said that a lot of the songs were actually about his life, not Usher's. But at that point, it didn't really matter what the album was about because it was already insanely successful. It went diamond in the US and sold over 20 million records worldwide. And to this day, Confession is actually Usher's most successful album of all time. What is really interesting is that even though it's been ages since they broke up, it seems that Chili actually might still have feelings for Usher, even now. She apparently posted a quote to her Instagram account about soulmates that were not meant to be, and what's interesting about that is she actually tagged Usher in the picture. She apparently untagged him very quickly, but not before people managed to get screenshots. It really looks like Chili actually thinks she and Usher were soulmates all along, and it just wasn't meant to be, so maybe there's even a chance they might get back together, but we haven't heard anything about that just yet. After his breakup with Chili, Usher went through a short period of time when he mostly dated models like Naomi Campbell and Aisha Brightwell, but none of these relationships really lasted very long, until he absolutely shocked everyone when he married his stylist, Tamika Foster, in 2007. Usher's relationship with Chili was really popular with the fans, and his short relationship after that didn't really affect his career, but fans really didn't like Tamika at all. Tamika wasn't really famous before she married Usher, so it's kind of understandable that the fans would be confused about the relationship. But the backlash Tamika faced from Usher's fans were really making life difficult for her. She received tons of really mean comments daily, a lot of which were pretty vile things that were completely made up. People were calling her a gold digger or saying she just wasn't pretty enough for Usher, and the massive amount of hate really took its toll on the relationship, even though it looked like Usher and Tamika genuinely loved each other, and that's why they got married. Ultimately, they weren't able to handle all the hate coming their way. They ended up getting divorced in 2009, but Usher's career actually suffered quite a blow because of his relationship with Tamika. Although I have to say, there were other reasons for Usher's loss of popularity too. He took a 4-year break, and in that time, his competitors gained a lot of popularity. And on top of that, he actually changed managers, so that could also have been a factor. It wasn't quite the end of Usher's career, but he never managed to get as popular as before. But even though it might seem like it was mostly the backlash that ultimately led to Usher and Tamika's breakup, it's not as simple as that. And this next part is actually the most shocking thing about the whole story. It actually came to light later that Usher cheated on Tamika as well, and it gets worse because he actually cheated with one of her bridesmaids, and the bridesmaid is actually the person that allegedly sued Usher because he gave her herpes. Can you believe that? And even though none of this is actually 100% confirmed, there's more that really makes it seem like the allegations against Usher might just be true. After the information was leaked, 3 more people actually came forward with similar lawsuits against Usher, and at least one person out of the 3 actually didn't end up getting infected, but others weren't that lucky. And actually, even if the virus doesn't transfer, it's still illegal to not tell your intimate partner that you have an STD. In any case, the whole thing really makes you wonder if there might have been more people affected by the situation. It's not entirely clear when exactly Usher himself allegedly became infected, but we do know it was no later than 2010. He and Tamika got divorced in 2009, so when the leaks came out, many people were wondering whether even she could have contracted herpes from Usher towards the end of their relationship. But after the leaks, Tamika quickly confirmed on her social media that this was not the case, and she is, in her own words, healthy everywhere. Since then, Usher has been in 2 major relationships, first with his manager Grace McDowell. They were even married between 2015 and 2018, and finally with his current girlfriend Jen Gogacia, with whom he even has 2 kids. It's unclear whether either Grace or Jen could have contracted herpes from Usher, but some things might just not be for the fans to know. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you believe the allegations against Usher? Let me know in the comments.